Oh my goodness, that was a nightmare. I'm so sorry, team. As usual, I'm just going to quickly post inside the chat to make sure everyone can join in. Did you know, fun fact, Facebook are getting rid of live videos after 30 days, which means the over 80 plus videos that we have accumulated since I started this Facebook group are going to be deleted. I can't believe it. I am absolutely gutted. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is download every single one of them, save them all, and then upload them onto YouTube so you guys have a place to watch them. But I'm not gonna lie, that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and my assistant can't get into my YouTube account, so there we go. So there's my problems. How are you, badasses? I want to know. Welcome to that place. That place. Welcome to that plant-based weight loss support club. I am Bianca Jane. If you don't know me, I am a health and lifestyle transformation coach. And if you were watching this on replay, I want you to type in replay just so I know that you love this kind of content, that this is useful for you. I want to make content that is really helpful, delivers a lot of value for you, and gets you going and get you some results. If you're watching this on live, please drop into the comments now. I'm going to have the comments here. I want you to drop into the comments and say hello. Tell me where you're tuning in from, because the more you comment, by the way, I'm going to let you know now, the more you comment, the more of this kind of content actually shows up for you, right? So the more you engage with these things on Facebook, trust me, Facebook has been a royal nightmare for me. The more you engage, the more free content you are going to get. So say hello, drop me a little thumbs up, drop me a little heart, let me know that you are watching. Jerry, Patty, welcome along, ladies. I see you, I see you, I hear you. You ladies are in the boot camp in a couple of hours and you're here live. Like, how awesome is that? These ladies are absolutely kicking it. Oh no, Jerry is not in this boot camp, but you were here and we just did some coaching. Angie, hello. Nice of you to join us. Thank you so much. Drop me a little love heart so I know that you guys are watching and we will get started. And so I want you to know, like, if you've ever felt stuck in your weight loss journey, cycling through motivation, falling off track, or just not seeing the results that you want, there is one tool that basically top trumps everything. And I'm sorry, that is a very sensitive word right now. There is one tool that comes above the rest and will change everything. And I'm kind of a little bit cautious about saying this because I've got a couple of clients on watching live right now. But I'm even going to say that if you get this down to a T, you could probably get rid of your coach. And I'm going to say that, right? I'm going to tell you that, but it takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of encouragement to get there. And no, it's not another diet plan and it's not another fancy app. Um, so I'm going to talk to you today about this tool, and it is it has had profound effects on my life and on my clients' lives. A profound impact. So if you can at least just hear me out until the rest of the live, I'm going to tell you what it is straight away because I can't just go into it. I can't surprise you and keep the suspense. But I want you to make me a promise right now that you are going to hear what the tool is and you are going to hear me out, because the value in this is going to be an absolute life changer. If you hear this one tool and you go, oh, I've heard it before, then and you tune out, you are missing out, buddy. You're missing out on a free coach for life. So I want you to make a promise now. Drop me in the chat. Say, I promise to stick around. I want you to promise yourself that you get to stick around, okay? Now, the tool is journaling, and journaling isn't just writing a random thought. It is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Okay. Journaling is about recognizing the thoughts that are triggering you to start eating when you're not hungry or overeat when you're already eating. It is also about recognizing your own trigger points of reaction. So if you find that you overreact, maybe you get more emotional than you want to get, maybe you get angry quickly, you can look at the way that you cope after being in front of that trigger, exposed to that trigger. So journaling isn't just about food management, it's all encompassing, right? Whatever reaction you want to change in yourself, whatever behavior you want to adopt, whatever personality trait you want to have, you need to change your behaviors. And that starts with looking at your thoughts. But why? Because here is the exact equation of how things happen. There, something happens, okay? Whether it's an event or something just happens in our life. Someone pisses us off, someone talks to us rude, someone cuts us up in the traffic. And then you have a thought about that one thing. Now, that thought is going to determine whether you have a positive or a negative result. The negative result could be weight gain. The positive result could be weight loss. A positive result could be maintenance. A negative result could be an argument or a fight. A positive result could be a resolve. So something happens and then you have a thought about it. Now, the thoughts are attached to emotion. So when you have a positive thought, you'll have a positive emotion. When you have a negative thought, you'll have a negative emotion. When you have a neutral thought, you'll have a neutral emotion. Okay, think about it. When you're thinking about someone who's just died, you're not jumping around with joy, are you? Right? So your thoughts are going to create your emotions, which is also the way that you're reacting and the way that you feel in your body. And that emotion is then going to create a reaction. So if it's a positive thought, it's going to be a positive emotion, which is going to be a positive reaction. And in turn, that's going to create a positive result. So can you see how that kind of creates a positive thread almost? And then you've got a negative thread. So if something happens and you assign a negative thought about it, you then have a negative emotion to that thought, which is a negative reaction, and you create a negative result. So all you've got to do is go in and change the thought and make sure that you're changing the thoughts and being mindful of your thoughts to create a different result. So if you are seeing weight gain, weight plateau, if you're seeing a personality trait or behavior trait in yourself that you want to change or that you don't like, it all boils down to the thoughts that you choose. Now, how do you know what thoughts you're choosing? With journaling. Journaling is going to be pretty much the only way, unless you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars ready for therapy. Journaling is going to be the only way and the quickest way that you get to go find what your thoughts are, go in, change them, and change the result. Let me know if you're with me so far. Jerry, no way gonna walk away from Bianca. Oh, I love you, Jerry. Add this to the list created in my decluttering the office space. Was really going to start this. Yeah, add that to the list for sure. Awesome. Okay, so let me know if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down so far. Even if you're on replay, just say got it, okay? So I just want to quickly share like what I have been able to change through journaling. Now I have this notebook here. So this is really like the first stage of journaling. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I really struggled with journaling for years because I just thought it was a load of rubbish. I thought that it was pointless. I didn't think that it was actually gonna amount to anything. But this is like my last 18 months that I've had before I've started my new one. The last 18 months of journaling. And this is where I became consistent. I started writing in it whether I'd had a good day or a bad day. I was the most consistent with this, but also I was the most proactive about it. I wasn't just writing, dear diary, yada, yada, yada. I did this today. I ate this today. I wasn't just writing generic stuff. I was writing the shit that writing about the shit that I needed to change. And then I had some things like my gratitudes and my wins. But ultimately, this was the journal that got me all of my goals in 2024. And it was the journal that completely changed my attitude from being a very much in imposter syndrome. I very much felt like, who am I to talk, right? I very much felt kind of very small in myself as a coach. And I was able to shift my own thinking. Nothing's really like changed. I haven't all of a sudden acquired a psychology degree. However, my own view and opinions about myself have changed. So therefore, through journaling, I've been able to be so much more confident in myself, which is then delivered confidently. When it delivers confidently, clients pick up more. When clients pick up more, they make better and bigger results. So I've been able to change the way that I perceive myself, and therefore I've been able to change others around me. So that ripple effect for me was the most important thing that I wanted to change. Okay, so I have been able to be more confident, believe in myself, trust in myself. love myself, among many other things. And so that has had a profound effect on not only me, but my clients as well. And my clients, I've had a client who has had a lot of resistance against journaling, and we were able to work through it. She was able to get into it, and when she got into it, she finally got out of her own way. So she was self-sabotaging every single night. She got into it. She looked at her thoughts. She looked at what needed healing through journaling. And she was able to get out of her way and stop the self-sabotage in the evenings. She was able to make huge, huge, huge progress in her health and in her life, not just with weight. Actually, like, I'll be honest with you, not a huge amount in her weight shifted, but her habits changed, like phenomenally, her habits changed. Now she's recently reported to me that she's running marathons and she's much lighter, so she has lost a lot of weight as a byproduct of changing that, and her whole life has kind of done a 180 in a positive way. So it really just shows the power of journaling. Just being able to look at your own bullshit that's stored up in here, right, which we believe is 100% true, in order for you to get out of your own way. Because realistically, team, the only person that is in your way is you. The only person in my way is me. Write that down. There are two people, I believe, a man and a woman. I don't know if they know each other or not, but um, I heard about it today and I was like, oh my God, that just shows exactly what I'm talking about today. And it is two cases of people who survived through Auschwitz, and they both have the story that everything was taken away from them. Their clothes, their loved ones, everything. But what kept them strong enough was the fact that nobody could take their thoughts. Nobody could determine how they felt. So, at the end of the day, no matter what position you are in, nobody can change your thoughts but you. Okay? You choose them. You get to choose sadness or joy. You get to choose to feel imposter syndrome or confident. You get to choose those things. And once you realize that, my God, you are powerful. Once you realize that no one else is stopping you, no matter what access you have to things, no matter what things you have available to you, the people around you, the position that you're in, you can change your thoughts. And when you change your thoughts, you change your emotions. When you change your emotions, you change your actions, which changes your results. Okay. So that was just a little bit about me and some other examples of journaling. So let's kind of go into it. Most people are really sitting around thinking, I would be happier if, I'd be happier when I divorced my husband. I'd be happier if I was already plant-based or if I was already 10 stone lighter, right? And journaling is really what tells you that your thinking isn't true. So realistically, what I see a lot of the time is just because people get to their goal weight does not make them happy. In fact, it is quite a toxic belief for people to think that when they get to a certain place, they are then going to be happy. It's like, oh, here are the gates to happiness. No, that thing does not equal happiness. It might help towards it. It might, like, for example, money is going to help to create a positive experience or a memory because you get to paid to go somewhere. It can be a facilitator, but it ultimately isn't the gates towards full happiness. And we know this because we know of broke millionaires who are depressed, millionaires who are anxious, right? Influencers who are depressed and feel like they're so lonely. You could have everything that you want, but it doesn't equal happiness. So we know that. We know that theoretically. And so when we tell ourselves, I will be happier when, we are just creating an unrealistic expectation and just banking on not changing until we get that thing. And when you get that thing, you're still not received what the thing is that you actually wanted, which ultimately is happiness. Okay. So the reason why I have my clients journal is because when they're thinking of all the things in their head, like all of the things about themselves, about food, about dieting, about their family and their relationships. They think that those thoughts make sense. But all of our thoughts are just stories that we tell ourselves that are pretty much just circulating in our mind. And when they're stories that are circulating in our mind, we're going to find evidence that those thoughts are true because that is because that is, sorry, my cat's trying to jump in. Can you please leave me alone? Don't bite me. Um, we are going to find evidence that our thoughts are true, always. Always. We're going to find evidence that our beliefs are true, always. So if you have a load of bullshit running around in your head, you're going to believe that it's true. But when it's just in your head, it's very difficult to recognize what thoughts are really driving you to eat as well. So this is why we overeat, because we think loads of thoughts that aren't necessarily true. And then when we try to find relief from those thoughts, we find relief in food because we're not getting relief in our heads. Let me know, team. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Does this make sense? Okay. And another reason why journaling works is because most people eat and act on autopilot. But when you're consistently journaling, the act of writing is going to force you to take a pause, take a moment to reflect and break those patterns. Okay. Because if you're going on automatic behavior, like trigger, response, trigger, response, trigger, response, you're never going to have an opportunity to interject and figure out what on earth is going on. Like the biggest thing that I tell my clients to do is take a pause. If you have a craving, an urge to eat or overeat, just take a pause because that is probably the smallest thing that you could do. So it requires very little effort, but it is the biggest needle mover for change. So when you're consistently journaling, you will be able to start to track patterns in your overeating. It's going to help you identify emotional eating, stress triggers, your energy fluctuations, the foods that trigger you, the people, the scenarios, whether it's traffic, whether it's your boss, whether it's your husband or your kids. You will be able to recognize what it is if you don't already know. And don't forget, if they are the thoughts that are driving the behavior, you get to go in and change the behavior, the thoughts, which is going to change the behaviors, which are then in turn going to change the results. It's going to give you a better result. Okay, you could notice maybe just after a few days that maybe around 3 or 4 p.m. you're always grabbing a snack when realistically you're not actually hungry at that time. So journaling is going to really help you pinpoint all of those little things that you might not even recognize that you're doing. But also it's going to help you shift your mindset. You get to turn weight loss from a rules and restriction mindset into a journey of self-discovery and problem-solving mindset. I tell my clients that there are never problems, always solutions. And they're even getting better at beelining just for the solution now, instead of sitting around in their shitty nappy, figuring out where the problem came from and how bad the problem feels. And really just sitting around and festering in the problem. Now they're just beelining for a solution. And so you can do that when you start journaling because you start cutting out and recognizing all of the crap and all the emotion that you're bogging things down with, the facts, the actual facts that you're bogging it down with. And I'm going to tell you as well that journaling helps boost the accountability. You're not only lying to yourself you're only lying to yourself, should I say, um, if you lie in your journaling. Okay. And if you're lying to yourself, Lord knows, I can't help you either. Okay. So the only one place that you can really be truthful and really spot your own shit is in the journaling when you're doing it for yourself. You get to see your progress in black and white, which is way more effective than relying on memory. I can't tell you how many times I've asked a client what their water intake was like over the week, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, it's really good. And then we look back at the data, we look at the habit tracker, we look through their daily plans, and they've hit water target for like 60% of the time. So in their head, it's like, yeah, it was really good. But no wonder why they were feeling really tired. No wonder why their cravings had jacked up throughout the week because they were still missing 40% of that water intake. So because they weren't getting the water, their cravings were out of whack, their brain fog was out of whack, and then of course they totally forgot. So just going by memory is going to be very difficult to get an accurate reading and then troubleshoot why you might have plateaued or gained that week. So there's really no hiding with journaling. So let's have a look at how we journal. Actually, before I look at how we journal, I do want to quickly just talk about the reasons why we don't journal. And I think the main key things here are, and I'm just kind of going ad hoc and not on my notes here. Pain. So we're revealing pain, but also we don't believe it will work. I'm going to write these down so I can come back to them. And another one which I thought of, but it's just gone straight out of my head. We don't think that we've got time for it. So that kind of works in, well, if you believe that it would work, then you would create time for it, right? But the main thing that I see with journaling is people feel like if they start, uh, I got it. If they start opening up and talking about things that have happened, talking about the things that they're doing, then that's going to be painful for them. So whether it's a past experience of some trauma or some horrible stuff that have happened in their past, maybe some failures that they've had, what's going to typically come up is this avoidance of pain, which is just a very normal reaction for the brain, right? If you've experienced trauma or pain before, whether it's emotional or physical pain, your brain is going to do everything it can to not experience that before. So it knows that this equals pain, like certain pain, right? This is inevitable pain. Again, whether the pain is perceived or real, your brain has created an association. If we talk about or do this, this is what happened in the past, so this is how we're gonna feel pain again. So quite often we'll have a resistance to journaling because we believe that it's going to be painful. So for example, if you were writing about a traumatic time to overcome it and you feel like writing things out and journaling, we need to do this, then your brain is going to go, oh my God, that was so painful. Let's not talk about that. So you're going to have a resistance to do that because the brain doesn't like to feel pain. Okay, that's a perfectly normal wiring. It's a hard wiring in our systems. So if you feel like it's gonna bring up pain, your brain will avoid it. The second big thing here is the truth, right? A lot of people will believe or will recognize that when they journal, they then have to face the truth. But guess what? The truth hurts. So your brain is going to tell you not to do this because facing the truth, facing the overeating, facing the binging, facing the lies, that is painful because you now feel guilty, you feel shameful, right? You feel like a failure. All of these things, again, for your brain, are pain. Your brain is hardwired to avoid these things. So if you feel like you've been lying or really struggling, and journaling is going to bring up the truth that you've not been doing those things, you've actually not been abiding 100% by your habits, then that's going to feel guilt and shameful. And so your brain is going to say, I don't want to feel those negative emotions, so we're just going to avoid facing them. And we're going to sit here in the dark and pretend like we actually don't know what's going on. So that's a reason why people will struggle to start journaling. Maybe they don't believe it will work. Okay, maybe you actually just don't believe that putting pen to paper will work. Well, I'm going to tell you, what the frick do you have to lose? 20 pounds. Oh no. If you honestly don't believe that it will work, that means it's going to work for you. I see this all the time with my clients. The clients that don't believe that it's going to work, when they finally do it, they uncover so much bullshit because they realize that that belief that they were lying down was just an excuse to not feel pain, excuse to not feel or face the truth. Right? So usually the belief that it doesn't work is either just something that you've been told, like journaling is a waste of time or writing your thoughts is a waste of time, right? I've been speaking with a lot of people recently who are told not to face their emotions, not to bring them up. Sorry, give me 1 second. Pete, do you mind switching the light on for me, please? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. That's better. I can see myself now. So, oh God, that got dark really quickly. Um, so if you've been told not to speak about your emotions, not to speak about how you feel, to suppress your emotions, maybe you've heard like, oh, we don't as a family, we don't talk about emotions, we don't share. Maybe that's another reason why you are so against journaling or you don't want to do it or you don't do it consistently because you've just been told your story is that it doesn't work. And this is not how we cope. We cope by suppressing. Well, let me tell you, suppressing isn't working because you are coping by eating, by disassociating, by hiding in the cupboards and stuffing food in your mouth in the pantry, right? Um, another key thing is people feel like they don't have time. Like I said, not having time is typically a reason to like avoid pain. But also if it feels like a burdensome task, if it feels like it's going to take a lot of time, you can come to me now and tell me that you do not have 2 minutes in your entire day to change your life. Now, if you literally cannot block schedule in 2 minutes a day to change your life, you are running on burnout. I will assure you, you will not be living the life that you are currently living if you cannot spend 2 minutes. If you physically do not scroll on social media, stand there and watch TV, wait around in traffic, like if you do something for 2 minutes that is not productive in your day, then you can do journaling, right? You can just swap them around. I hear people telling me I don't have time for it. It doesn't have to be a half an hour task. It just does not have to be that. Okay. It can be a 2 minute or a 5 minute task. Either one is totally fine, but you've just got to start. Okay, so we're already on the half an hour mark. This is a good live. This is a good live. I feel like I'm on fire today. Okay, give me 1 second. Cat's making really weird like squeaky noises because like she can't breathe. I keep saying my cat. She's not my cat. I wish it was my cat. Oh my gosh, I was so stuffy this morning. I was giving her cuddles this morning, and all of a sudden, like I couldn't breathe, and I had like a client session this morning. I just all bunged up. Okay, so should we talk about how to journal? Like, what is the most effective way to journal? Well, I've already told you, just take 2 minutes. If 10 minutes is too much, take 5 minutes. If 5 minutes is too much, take 2 minutes. If two minutes is too much, sort your freaking life out. I'm going to be honest with you right now. If 2 minutes is too much, I cannot help you. Okay? That's just a reality check, right? Just a reality check. So first and foremost, there is actually no right or wrong way to do this. Actually, in fact, there is a wrong way. The only wrong way to do this is to not do this at all. The only wrong way. Okay. So think about it. It can be as messy as you want. It can be as uh, precise as you want. It can be as colorful as you want. It can be as pretty as you want, as ugly as you want. It can be on a scrap piece of paper, on the back of a cookie packet. It can be on a brand new notebook. It can be at the back of an old notebook. It does not matter. The pure act of pen to paper and writing about your thoughts, writing about what's happened, writing about the things that you do not like or that you want to improve about yourself, it doesn't matter. Okay. So if you're waiting for the perfect notebook, the perfect pen, if you're trying to make it perfect every time, which is actually stopping you from being consistent, then you need to override that thought. You need to change that thought. Okay. So all you got to do is get out a sheet of paper, a new notebook, and write your thoughts. That's it. That's all you got to do. You're going to set a timer, right? Just set a timer. And at first, by the way, this is going to feel probably really shitty. Okay, it might feel a bit crap. Let that be the norm. Let that be okay. That journaling isn't thrilling. It's not adrenaline seeking. It's not necessarily exciting. It doesn't provide short-term gratification, right? It might, but it might not. And that's okay. Not everything has to. And I'm going to tell you now, I guarantee you, brushing your teeth doesn't fill you with adrenaline. Like you're not super pumped up and excited to brush your teeth. Probably not. So before you come to me and say, oh, it's not exciting enough, well, you do that. You wipe your ass. I bet you're not thrilled and excited to wipe your ass every day, but you do it, okay? So this is just one of those tasks that maybe is not as thrilling to start off with. And when you start, you're going to probably wonder whether you're kind of doing the right things, talking about the right things. You're probably going to wonder if you've written too much or too little, if it's actually any use, if it's valuable, if it's not. You'll probably think this is too hard, this is too messy, or even this is just stupid, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Something's going to come up, some negative thoughts, and that's okay, right? Because you're just starting, you're just practicing. And you're not also used to seeing your own thoughts. You're not used to seeing your own thoughts. So I'm going to tell you, it's probably going to be a bit of a shock. And you're probably going to be very concerned about what your brain is coming up with on a day-to-day basis. How you talk to yourself, about your relationships, about food. You're probably going to be really shocked and disturbed, and that's okay. And quite often, the second reaction to writing your thoughts is, oh, I'm fucked up. And that is really common, okay? That's so common. It's so common for most people. So I can assure you, you're not fucked up. It's just your thoughts that you've let run wild. It's like a wild field and going in and everything's so overgrown. You need to go in there and start giving it some love. Okay? You're not screwed up in the head. You're just a human being. Okay? We're only screwed in the head when we start taking action on those really, really serious thoughts, okay? So be careful. So you're going to set your timer for however long you want, whether it's 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't care. And just start writing and don't stop until the timer goes off, okay? Just get used to that habit of writing for 2 to 10 minutes. If you have nothing to say, then just write I have nothing to say. This is what I do, right? I could probably pull up some pages in that yellow one where I start off with, I don't have anything to say, but if I did, it would be. By the time I get to the word be, oh, it's like the floodgates have opened. Only very rarely is just like, I would still say nothing and then I just close the book and finish up. Okay. So even if you've got nothing to say, write that. Write it over and over again until some new thoughts come up, until some things come up that you really want to talk about, that you want to change the way you reacted, the way you didn't act to something, right? Some things will start coming up, and eventually your brain is going to get really bored of writing that boring line and it's going to write down something for you. And this is how we just get past that barrier of figuring out what on earth we're going to write. And so we're going to get into a habit of it, right? Journal in the mornings, on your lunch break, on the evening, wherever. The best time to journal is when it works for you. The best time to journal is when it works for you. Write that down. The best time to journal is when it works for me. Now, I'm going to give you a little caveat here. A little side note, actually, journaling at night has been proven to incredibly, it has been proven to be incredibly successful to help with sleep. Okay. I've had multiple clients who, after literal decades of constantly disrupted sleep, actually getting a full night's sleep all the way through 7, 9, 10 hours because your brain needs to run a sleep cycle. So what this means is throughout the day, your brain is gathering all of the information. This is blue, this is yellow. He said that, he said that. That's happening on with the world, right? Your social media, the amount of information that we consume on a day is billions times more than we would have done back in cavewoman times, which is where our brains are still actually wired to act and to be. So I was just thinking, sorry, excuse me. I was just thinking I probably need to hurry up because I've got a boot camp challenge coming up in a few minutes. Anyway, so our brain is processing information. When it processes it, I want you to think of like a really busy, like office, like a Wolf of Wall Street, right? There's all this chaos going around, there's paper planes flying around, there's balls of paper, there's rubbish. All of the people leave, so all of the processing finishes, and at night you're now left with all of that rubbish to clear up. Now, the thing is if you still have information that you want to process or that you want to try and remember, that means those workers have not left. And so the cleaners can't come in and do their cleaning job when you are asleep. So what's essentially happening, this is how I see it, by the way. You don't literally have janitors in your head, but just saying. But this is the way that I see it, is we need to get rid of all of the workers. In other words, get rid of all the information, finish processing in order for us to have a good night's sleep. Now, you need that to go into a sleep cycle about 5 times a night. So your brain isn't completely cleared. The office is not cleared and reset until you've had about 5 of those cycles. Now, you need enough sleep time to go into those cycles, but you also need all of the workers to go before you go to sleep so that the sleep cycles can happen. Let me know if this makes sense. So now what you've got to do is process that information. Now, the way that you can help processing that information is write things down. That's it. I have a to-do sticky note list and I have my journal that I have next to my bed because I know that if I put stuff on the to-do list, I will continue to try and remember that information, and therefore the worker for that to-do list will not leave. So that means I will be waking up in the middle of the night. I won't get a good night's sleep. Okay. So whatever you need next to your bed is going to help you get a better night's sleep. So, um, awesome. Sorry, I'm just looking through my notes, trying to figure out what I can skip because I've got so much. I've got so much to talk about. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to change our thoughts. If you want to journal about your food and your relationship with food, cool. Talk about the food choices that you made. Talk about whether you ate when you were hungry. Decide and ask yourself, am I happy with what happened today or yesterday? Would I change what I ate? Why did I eat that if I'm not happy about it? Was it against my plan? Was it with my plan? So all you've got to really do is ask why. Why is your biggest friend? Ask, why did I do that? Why did I choose that? Okay. I'm just trying to see if there's no comments. No, there's no comments at the moment, which is good. So, even I even say if I had to guess why I overate, why I smoked, why I drank alcohol yesterday, it could be one of these reasons. So you can say that as well, right? If there's something that you did, you ate, you drank, you smoked, whatever it is that you're trying to give up, if you write that down and say, if I had to guess, it would be this. So if you're really, really struggling with finding out why, the answer to the why, write that as a sentence starter. And then you can list like 4 to 5 answers, and some are just going to be absolute nonsense, and that's okay. At least you're trying, at least you're giving yourself an opportunity to start working through this. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna ignore all of that information because I have babbled on so much. One key thing that I want to let you know is do not underestimate the power of writing versus typing. So writing by hand really helps with clarity and emotional connection. It helps to slow the brain down and really see the thoughts almost like out loud. So if you like think of this example, right? Have you ever said something to a friend and said, "Oh shit, I've just heard that, how that sounded." Or maybe, oh, that sounded better in my head. Well, that's a perfect example of you being able to sort your thoughts into opinion and reality. So seeing them on paper is pretty much doing the same thing. You're getting it out of your head. Now, it kind of feels like you're reading someone else's thoughts. And when you're doing that, you now take a different stance on those thoughts, giving you an opportunity to really question the validity and the truth of your own thoughts. However, that being said, if digital journaling is literally the only way you can do it, because maybe you have fibromyalgia in your hand and you can't use your hand, maybe you have arthritis, maybe you're out at a friend's house and you're not going to have time to journal that night. If just typing on your phone is the easiest way that you're going to get some journaling done, is the only way that you're going to get journaling done, then do that, because that at the end of the day is better than nothing. 4 common mistakes that people make. They overcomplicate it. They only write about the negative things. Make sure you write about the wins. They're inconsistent. So they do it one day and then they forget to do it the next day. And they judge themselves too harshly. So instead of thinking that it has to be perfect, or well, I should be thinking this or I should be thinking that, they start judging themselves, so they stop doing it. I hope this has, at the very least, convinced you to do 2 minutes of writing tonight. At the very least. And if it has, I really, really want you to just drop into the chat and let me know if you're game, if you're going to try journaling, if this is new for you, or if this is something that you've forgotten to do, let me know because I really, really want to know if you are practicing journaling or not. I would really love to know. And if you would really, if you have no idea where to start and you're really struggling, or you just want some more quality directioning with your journaling and you want to go down a better route that is more suited to food, your body, your relationships, with both and other and people and stuff. If you want more purpose and more direction in your journaling, I've got a super, super, really dirt cheap, it's like $9, 90-day journal prompt, which will actually help you work through your thoughts about food, about your body, with your mind, so you get to really shine a light on your own bullshit. So if you do want the 90-day, yeah, very helpful. Yeah, I'm so glad that you've loved it. Yes, ladies, I'm so glad you loved it. Um, I basically deliver a brand new question to your inbox every single day that you can take to your journaling practice to really help unpick all of that bullshit that's going on so you can create better results, so you can get better at journaling, so you get better at self-coaching. Okay, I'm giving you the tools dirt cheap so you can coach yourself, basically. Guys, this was a jam-packed one. I did not expect this to be 45 minutes when I wrote my notes. So I hope this has been valuable for you. Please let me know in the chat, has this been valuable or not? Let me know. Did you get some information from this? What are you going to take away? Are you going to grab the 90 days of journal prompts? I will drop a link in the chat box below, or if you can't find it, just write down prompts in capital letters, write prompts, and I will send you the link. It's like $9. It's disgustingly dirt cheap, and it's definitely gonna help. Reinforcement, yes, Jerry, get the pen to paper, girl. I know you need it. I know you want it. I know it's ready for you. I know you're ready for it. Amazing, ladies. Right, take care, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much for sticking by. This is an awesome training. I hope you have a lot of value from this. Take care, team. I'll see you later.